We can be talking about new ideas, new opportunities, things that we can be doing together to enhance the business, more new investments, different types of investments. And we find that it really is an advantage. "88% of entrepreneurs face mental health challenges." Well, that's positive right out of the gates, isn't it? Anxiety, burnout, loneliness. 34.4% report burnout specifically. 42% of small business owners have experienced burnout in just the past month. Now, why is this important? Because, guys, I can tell you that as an entrepreneur, some days are just not great days. And if you are what I affectionately refer to as a solopreneur, which means it's just you, right? And for those of you that are married, you may be attempting to build this business all by yourself. So your spouse isn't involved. They're supportive, but they're not involved. So they're not helping you pull the leads. They're not helping you make outbound dials. They're not going out and meeting with buyers or sellers or borrowers or helping you in your private equity fund business or your brokering business. They're looking at you going, "Hey, when are you going to make some money?" That can get really stressful. And that's why I want you to think about this. You know, Jeff and I meet a lot of people, and we've consulted a lot of couples over the years. And when they find out that we work together, the first reaction we get is, "Oh, that sounds terrible. You work with your spouse?" And the answer is, yeah. And I can tell you the first couple of years, it was terrible because we didn't know things we should be doing. And that's what I'm going to hopefully share with you this evening. The things you should be doing or could be doing that could make working with your spouse really enjoyable. Now, the silent strain on modern couples as partners in business is that even high-achieving entrepreneurs often say that their romantic life suffers. Nearly half report trouble balancing both. Now, what this says is that if you work with your spouse in business, that it can have an effect on romance. Now, point number 2, in couple-led businesses, unresolved relational tensions often spills over into the business's health and stability. And here's the point. When stress is constant, boundaries blur, and communication breakdowns, even the strongest partnerships, business or marriage, can fracture. And that's why this conversation matters. You know, my kids have never known us not to work together in business. And my daughter made a comment the other day. She said, "When I get married, my husband and I are not going to work together." And Jack looked at her and said, "Well, honey, why not?" She says, "Because all you guys ever talk about is work." Well, okay, but what if we didn't work together? What would we talk about? Now, I know couples who don't work together, and my understanding is they talk about their boss or people at work, and they complain to each other about, "Well, my boss did this. Well, my boss did that. Well, my coworker." Guys, work is a big part of who we are. It's what we do. And so people are going to talk about it. The advantage that Jacqueline and I have is when we're talking about work, we can be strategizing together about work. We can be talking about new ideas, new opportunities, things that we can be doing together to enhance the business, more new investments, different types of investments. And we find that it really is an advantage.